In today's video, I'm just going to go over some of the things that we offer here at ReSpark, basically a breakdown of the processes that you can expect to get into. So we're going to go into like how it works, a general overview. I'm going to get into ads, some of the stores that we've built. We have pages with a lot more detail on all of these aspects, but just a quick overview of exactly, the process that you can expect. Then I'm going to get into pricing, how much it's going to cost, not just what you're paying us here at ReSpark, but also what you can expect to pay in terms of store platforms, ads, and things like that. I'm going to give into a few examples, and then finally we're going to end up with timelines, and that's basically going to go over expectations that you can have when you're getting into the plan. So, how long it's going to take before you start generating your first few sales, how long it's going to take before you could start scaling up your business and generating even more sales, especially based on whatever your goals are, whether it's like a passive part-time income you're trying to build, or if it's something that's more full-time that you're looking for. So I'm going to get into a little touch of all of these aspects, but of course, at any point, if you have any more detailed questions, you could always reach out to us, book a call, and we can sit down and talk to you to answer any questions you might have before signing up. So to get started, I'm just going to introduce ReSpark real quick. It's a branch of the Spark Marketing Agency, and we're specifically focusing on startup businesses only. So we don't take legacy brands here. We're only focused on startup or even pre-built. And so to get into that a little bit, you can actually bring your own business as long as, like I said, it's not spending more than $10K per month in ads. It's still considered a startup and we'll be able to take it on. So you can bring your own business or you can get a pre-built from us. And we have an entire page. So this entire page is dedicated to some store designs. These are pre-built stores, but they're not actual brands. They're just stores that we've built or continue to work and support the themes here that you can expect to have for your brand as well. So when we design these stores, for example, this one is more of a big box store setup. So you can see that there's a lot more categories, a lot more organization, because what we're trying to go for here is a store that is going to be housing a larger catalog of products. On the other hand, we have stores like this one, which is a smaller catalog store. So it's not a store that's going to be housing a huge variety of products. We're focusing on a few specific products that, drive home our brand image. This is another store that we've built, and the reason I'm pulling this one up is because it has some interesting information like this. These are modeling images that we also do for you. So we actually, when we build these pre-built stores, all of these images, modeling images with your fashion product or beauty product, it'll obviously depend on the niche. For the furniture store, it would make more sense to showcase these pieces of furniture in a living room setting or in a house setting. So all of those images and customizations we do for you. So we do all the product photography and the ads creation itself as well. And we'll have more videos made for those specific topics. So if you want to learn more about the store design, you can watch this video here. But going back to the presentation, so you can get a custom made pre-built business. Each store is unique. It's custom made for you, for your brand. And if you are working on this pre-built, obviously, you might have an affinity for a certain niche, like there's something that you want to sell, but you don't know exactly how well it's going to do. That's where we step in. So we actually have supplier sales data. We work directly with suppliers and we can provide you that data. So if it's a certain niche that you want to get into, we can actually tell you how well that niche is selling. Is it selling really well? Is it seasonal? What you can expect as far as earnings based on, 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in, things like that. So we have a lot of information available for you when you do go and choose a niche. So that you can make a more informed decision before diving in. So we can either build your business or you can bring your own business, and we will kind of do an audit, go through the entire store and, kind of bring it up to standard. So we'll ask for access to the back end, get in and trying to bring it up to standard so that when we do start, marketing and we open up for sales, it'll actually start generating sales. Unless the step number 2 is just opening up, going live. So at this point, all of your ads are done, your store is ready to go, your suppliers are set up, everything is ready to start shipping out to customers, and we're launching our first few ads. We're not necessarily focused on optimization yet. We're just looking at what's working and what isn't. It's in step 3 where we'll start really optimizing. So this marketing is just an ongoing thing. This is something that we're offering you, and we're going to be doing this the entire time. But essentially, while we're marketing for your brand, we're looking, which ads are working, which audiences are working really well, and we're pushing more to them. And we're going to be scaling back on the ads that aren't working as well. And one obvious question might be about, how much ad spend do you really need? Honestly, we can bring you sales for $0 ad spend as well. We've done this multiple times, especially when a client doesn't have like that confidence in them. It really does help to see sales coming in without any ad spend. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer, but when you do start seeing those 1 or 2 sales coming in with no ad spend, that drives up your confidence level to, open up to a little bit higher ad budget. But I'm going to talk about budget when we get to the pricing section. And then, of course, with number 4, you have lifetime team support. Team support is more than just working on your store. It's also for your ad platforms. Going here in the resources tab, you'll be able to see all of the different kinds of resources we have aside from just 24/7 support. Ad account closure support, chargeback support, payment provider help, and copyright infringement support. This is mostly for Amazon and marketplaces where we can get in. And if there's like a listing that someone makes that's copying your product or copying your niche, we can kind of get them removed. And then below is more of a about us section for our brand. So we kind of already talked about this, what the stores will look like. You have that dedicated video as well, so you can watch that video to get a little bit more information on each of these stores. We really, really focus on the branding. So we're really going to get in and make the website look as branded as possible. And that extends the products as well. So we custom brand the products, the packaging, it's all super branded to make you look as legit as possible, because that alone will drive people to purchase from your store. And part of that is also kind of focusing and narrowing the scale of the products that we offer in our businesses. So this is more so if you're going pre-built, we're not going to be selling hundreds of products. We might not even be selling 50. We kind of, on average, we stick to about 20 products a store. And only 3 or 4 of them are going to be like those winning products that everybody is buying. And then the rest of the products we kind of upsell. So at checkout, we're going to get like, hey, do you want to add this to your order? And then in the emails, we can kind of push those other products as well, because we know a person who's purchased from us, they've already had a good experience with your brand. Now they're going to be more open to purchasing other products as well. So it's a lot easier to sell to existing customers. And that's where those other products come in, and our email automation, our funnels, and all of the funnels that we build for you and operate in your business, as it's all part of the plan. I think I'm going to get into pricing next. So before timeline, let's get into pricing. So under the pricing tab, you can see all of our different plans. There's only 3. There's the startup, the enterprise, and the advanced. All of them include the Armine store. So the custom-made store with the custom-made graphics, product photography, all of that is included in each of our plans. With all of our plans, you also get a lot of support. Now, there are some differences in the level of support, but for the most part, you're getting a very robust support system. The primary difference, though, between these plans is the amount of content that's being made for your brand. So that includes content for your social media accounts and content for your ads, but also content for your website. So if you're going with the startup plan, we're still making you content, but you can see in each plan, there's a different amount of content that we're producing for your brand. Now, if you have, and this kind of goes to pricing as well. So before we get into that officially, if you only have like $20, every other day, or maybe you only have $10 a day for ads. If you have a smaller budget, that's okay. And it makes more sense to start off with the startup plan, because if you don't need 30 story ads a month or even 10. If you only have $10 a day for ads, then there's no point testing more than 2 different ad sets. So, it also doesn't make sense to start up on a high level plan if you have a smaller budget, but you can always upgrade. So whenever the business starts working, when it makes sense for you to start putting in more time to scale it up, then you can always upgrade at that point to a higher plan. And of course, if you need more content for your brand or business, then we'd refer you to the Spark Marketing Agency, which works on more robust, larger businesses. You're spending more than $10K a month on ads and stuff like that. That's when we can take you over to our primary marketing agency. But right here, we're just focused on the startup brands. So finally, to get into a very quick timeline. Now, like I said, we do have these more dedicated videos that you can watch on our separate pages for each of our different little categories. But if we're starting up in January, you're just getting started, and say you choose a pre-built store. So you're really starting from scratch. You don't have existing business. You've never run ads before. You're really just getting going. This is your first time ever. Then we're going to start you off with a pre-built store. We're going to show you some supplier sales data based on a niche of your interest. So if, based on niches that you like and you tell us, we're going to send over some supplier sales data. You can, get some idea of what to expect when it comes to sales and performance. And once you choose a niche, we start developing the front end of the website. And generally, we make it a Shopify store. So that's going to take us about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. And you're going to be, watching the entire store come together, be built. And then at the end of that period, you can either accept delivery of the store, or you can refuse it, or you can ask for a revision. So we'll continue with unlimited revisions. So you can continue asking for changes and updates even after going live. So when you go live and, maybe 6 months down the line, the season changes and you want to make changes to your store, we can still step in and help you out with that stuff. So, you get this lifetime support with us as long as you're with us. However, in the next month, we should be going live with our first few ads, and we should start seeing sales as well. So our ads are done. The email automation funnel is done. We're automatically reaching out to people. The whole purpose of the automation funnel is like people will not generally purchase from the store the first time they see your ad. And even the first time they click your ad, they're probably not going to go straight to, checkout. Generally, we need to be able to remarket to people like 3 or 4 times. In other words, we need to get them to come back to our website 3 or 4 times because most people will purchase on that 3rd or 4th visit. So we need a system in place to be able to do that automatically. And that's the email funnel that we create for you. So we capture customer data like emails, like phone numbers, or even install a cookie on their browser. We remarket to them because now it's basically free to remarket to someone once you have their data. You're sending an email and there's literally no cost to that email. And we're getting them to keep coming back to our brand, our website, and purchase from our business. So like I said, generally on the 3rd or 4th visit is when they'll actually purchase. So this is our first few sales coming in. Our first few ads are actually working. We're able to find which ad is working really well and which isn't. And that's when the next month we're going to start focusing on the winning ads. So we're going to push a lot more money into the winning ads. We're going to drown out the losing ads. We also have now data for our email funnel. So we're going to be able to work on optimizing that funnel to drive even more sales. So, if there's an email that's really working well, we're going to move that up the funnel. And if there's an email that's just like not really converting, we might push it down the funnel or just redo it, recreate it, and test out a different kind of email like that. But that month, we're going to be really focusing on scaling up. And then each month after that, like that process is going to be continuous. But what's going to happen that's interesting is your social media content, that's going to start generating sales as well. So these are like Instagram posts or TikTok posts that we're making for you. So again, that's part of the ads. That's part of the content. That's not something you have to do yourself. But these posts, these like YouTube shorts or Instagram shorts are going to start generating sales for you as well. And that's really interesting because that's organic sales that are coming in. So these are sales that you didn't have to pay ad spend for. These are people who discovered your brand on social media and wanted to purchase from your business. That is a very powerful income stream, the organic sales that are happening. So around that 4th, 5th month, that's when you're going to start to see those organic sales coming in, largely from social media. We're not going to be focused on SEO too much, although if that's something that you want to kind of push for, we can definitely be working on that as well for you. But for the most part, most clients just like to focus on those quick sales early on. Those are going to be from ads, and a robust amount of sales later on, and that's going to be from organic sales coming in from social media. So that's kind of the breakdown. Now, one final thing I want to go over is pricing. So I know we covered our plans, but aside from just these prices, you can also expect to be paying a couple of other costs. First of all, it's going to be platform fees, generally $29 per month, and that's paid to Shopify. So your store platform is the platform fee. That's what keeps your store alive. Your other fee is going to be ads. So these two are going to be like your primary fees. Now, ads themselves are going to be completely up to you. You like I said, you can even start generating sales with $0 in ad spend. It's totally possible. We've done it over and over again. But however, what I recommend is having at least $20, $10 to $20 a day. It would be better if it's $20 a day, so that we can at least effectively be able to test at least 2 or 3 different ads on your ads manager, that we can by the second month know which one's a winner and kind of start pushing those ads faster. So having that minimum in mind is good. Aside from just ads and platform fees, there are like optional fees as well when it comes to custom branding. Generally, that's not going to run you more than $100, maybe $110, and that's like for like 100 orders. So it's generally like $1 per order. And that's something that we can like kind of work with you on to make sure your margins are high enough to effectively and easily cover those costs for you. So you don't really need to worry about all of that calculation up front. We kind of take care of it, especially, letting you know when it makes sense to really upgrade your brand packaging or stuff like that. Because a lot of people do jump the gun. They start upgrading their packaging and working on the unboxing experience before it's really even a relevant brand. So we kind of help advise you, keep you grounded through the entire process. But like I said, there's more videos on all of these processes, so you can definitely check those out if you're interested. And if you have any more questions, feel free to book a call.